Hey guys, this is Joseph, and I am going to get into something totally different in this video because usually I'm doing some kind of tactics or tips or hacks or something like that, or talking about side hustles. But today I'm just going to tell you my story, and I want you to watch this because this is actually really hard for me to share, and there's a lot of stuff I went through over the past few years of trying to make something of myself in this world, and it was really hard. And I think that a lot of the struggles I have are probably the same kind of struggles you had, and I think that if you can just hear how I got through them, it might make things easier for you or help you keep moving along. Or if you're having something that's troubling you, that maybe this is going to help you get through to the next stage in your development. So let's just get right into it. All right, so I'm not going to go too crazy into my backstory, but I was remembering, and I was talking to my wife about this tonight actually, and it was bringing up a lot of things because I remember when I was just starting to get into wanting to do this side business kind of thing or a side hustle kind of thing. And it was a real hard time in my life. I was living in Chicago, and I thought I was doing pretty good, and I had a nice job, and I got married. And I got married to a wonderful woman, but as soon as we started living together, within a couple months, we decided we didn't want to be in Chicago. We wanted to have a better place to start our lives together. And we moved out into the suburbs, and I have to leave this job behind. And I had health benefits for both of us, and it was a good place to be in. And then I left it. And when I came up here, I had the hardest time finding any real work. And it was really hard for me because my wife, she's in healthcare and nursing, and she always made a good living doing that. And I always made less than her, but now I was like making almost nothing. And I was just trying to find some kind of job. I was a manager back in Chicago, and now I moved up here and I couldn't get anything. I was living in this little town, and I did all the weirdest stuff. I was like applying to like retail stores, anything. And I ended up finally I would do like side work just to make some money. I was shoveling snow through the nights, which was a horrible job, driving an hour in a snowstorm to shovel snow in my dinky little car, and then driving back home. And then I got a job in medical collections, which is really rough and it doesn't pay that much. And then I was doing like stuff in finance for this weird company. And I just felt like I was struggling, and I tanked in so many ways because it's like with our relationship, it's like now she was having to carry the burden of everything. And I was essentially like gas and grocery money, and she was doing great. She was making like twice as much as me, and it was creating so much conflict in our relationship. So there's all of this struggle going on, and then just like spiritually, I was kind of tanking, and I wasn't really giving to anyone, and I wasn't really doing anything, and I wasn't a very good friend, and I just like, I need something. And it's kind of this happened in my life a lot at these moments when I just need something. Then, God comes through and something starts to change. And what happened in this case is I'm working this really bad job. I'm doing recruiting, and the job is me here at one desk with a couple monitors and a phone, and the president of the company at this other desk on the other side of the room. And the room, when I say like the other side of the room, I mean like 5 feet away from me. And we have virtually no business. I'm trying to build something from nothing. I'm working 100% commission, almost no marketing materials, and I'm making like nothing. And it's really bad. And I was like, I need something to change. And then I was watching YouTubes because I'm always learning, probably like you are. I was just always learning, and I can't stop. I can't imagine being able to stop learning. But so I'm watching all of these things, and then this ad comes up. And it's the same ad that I bet a lot of people had seen, because this was back in 2016, and it's Ty Lopez. And Ty Lopez is saying, hey, you want to know how to make 6 figures a year? I'll tell you how. And he starts laying out his plan for an SMMA, a social media marketing agency. And I looked at that, and it's like something just hit me, where I was like, I could do that. That makes sense to me. And I'd never done digital marketing. I'd never done social media management. I didn't know anything about it. I wasn't even on Facebook at that time. But I just had this feeling like that could work. And so I prayed about it, and I meditated about it, and I talked to my mentors about it, and he was like, yeah, this is something, this could work for you. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And that was the beginning of starting this side hustle. And I got the program, and I was like, it's, it was supposed to be $1,000, but I got it for like 500 or something. And I was like, all right, it's got to have all the things in there. There are all of these promises in here. And so I start doing it, and it's kind of cool because pretty quickly I start to make a little bit of money. I do like a $250 project here. Someone's paying me $50 a month to do something. And I was just thinking of this as a side business. I didn't know, I wasn't planning on ramping this up into a full income, even though I did that later. And that's, got me to where I am now, but I wasn't thinking about that back then. And so I was just trying to do this. And what you realize really quickly, it's like, it seems like there's trajectory, there's more money coming in. And I'm like, so glad, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be able to contribute now to my family. And I'm going to be able to like, not have my wife have to carry all the burden of this. And I was just thinking, because, when I wasn't making money, I felt so insecure and I felt scared. And I just had no motivation, and it really tanked me. And so I saw this as a way out. But then the thing that happened is I got to a certain place and in this course, and I'm like, they're not going deep on anything. There's a lot of people talking very high level about stuff, and the part where they show me step by step what I actually need to do, it's not there. And so like someone would hire me to do something, and then I'm like scouring YouTube and trying to find some way to do it. And I'm looking at these different forums, and I'm finding new websites, and I'm having to do all of this work just to figure out how to do anything. Because the course I'm in, even though it's getting me really excited about things, it's not really teaching me just the day-to-day work that needs to be done. And it's such a struggle. And I think if you've ever been in a course, a lot of them are like this. Because they're definitely not all equal. And this one is like one of the best selling ones, but it's also one of those that kind of promises the dreams. And I was like, I don't have the dreams these guys have. That was another thing that I realized. It's like, I just want to charge people an honest rate for like an honest day's work. And with this, it seemed like, hey, we're just going to like outsource everything, and you're going to hang out on a beach and just charge people thousands of dollars to do practically nothing for them. And it just seems so weird and shady, and it didn't really tell you how to do it anyway. And so then that's the wall that I came up against. And what I found is that I needed to find different teachers, and I started doing like mentor sessions. And it was kind of amazing because I started to like figure out exactly how does this work. And I started putting together my world and putting together the actual techniques. And one of the things that happened in all of this is I found that people were selling me on a certain lifestyle that I actually don't care about. I don't need a laptop lifestyle, travel the world, hang out in my, swim trunks all day on the beach. I want to do that for a couple weeks a year, but I don't want to do that all the time. I like to work. I think it's important to work and to be with people and talk to people and give to people in that way, and just to like have sweat on my brow. I think that's like an important thing for us to do. But then what I started to find through this is who I actually was and what I wanted to do in this, because they were selling this one lifestyle, and they were selling certain things like a lot of social media and Instagram and all of these kinds of things. And I was like, that's actually not where I want to be. That's actually not what I love. And I started to find things that I actually did love. Like I love web design. I love SEO. I love creating strategies with people. And this certain thing that I saw being sold, I was like, oh, well, that's not me. And I started to relax with that. And I started to just relax with me and being me and knowing what I have to give and what I have to offer to people. And it was this really cool thing in that I just kind of like found myself and I found my way. And then once I did that, then I was able to talk to people and business owners, and instead of giving a lot of ideas, just be really practical and provide these simple things that gave them a lot of value. And I started to actually know step by step what I need to do in a process. And I found that like I really love doing SEO for companies, and I really love just helping them figure out how to do things themselves, and giving them strategies they could carry out. And it was a really cool experience, and I hope that everyone kind of gets to that place, because I think that we're sold on these certain ideas, but we have to actually be who we are. And then we actually have to work out these systems Like on the tangible level, we have to work out the systems to do the thing. And on the kind of the internal level, we have to just be honest. We have to be more honest and more honest. And that's the way to go. And then you'll notice that people just trust you. And I noticed this. I noticed people just started to trust me more. And when I would talk to a business owner about pricing or what I was going to do for them, they just kind of trusted me. And because they could feel that I was just being authentic and I was being myself, and I wasn't going to try to like rip them off so I could have some lifestyle. It was like, no, I'm working with you. I'm your friend. I'm your partner. I'm part of your company. And it was a really cool place to get to. And then it's led me down all these different things in my life. And now I make the 6-figure income and I do digital marketing full time. But that wasn't what I was going to do originally. And I also found through this that as I was doing things more and systematizing things more, I was able to give more. And I kind of got to take care of my financial life. And so that now that the finances are working, I can just be with people and help people and take care of people. And then during the day, I put in some good work. And then when it's over, like I want to be available for people to help. And it's made it so that I'm not so insecure and I'm not so angry and I'm not so selfish in the ways that I was. And it's been this huge transformation for me. So, and the marriage is like, I was always really insecure, but I made so much less than my wife. And last year was the first year I finally made more than her. And this year I made more than her. And next year I'm probably going to make almost double. And so I know it's like it's a pride thing, and so I don't want to get too caught up in it. But to know that I could do well enough, and I'm doing well enough, that if at some point she decided she didn't want to work, if we started a family or something like that, then I like knowing that that's a possibility. I'm not saying that it's going to happen necessarily, or that she would ever want to stop, but I like knowing that I've created a situation where she could, if she wanted to, and that makes me feel good, because it makes me feel like we're both partners in this relationship instead of just me. And another one of the biggest things that I learned is in all of these stages, I had to keep meditating on things, I had to keep praying about things, I had to keep talking to people in my church about things to make sure I was lined up and I wasn't getting weird and selfish and money grubbing and greedy and all that kind of stuff. It's good to make money, but you got to be balanced about it. And you got to remember that it's like, God is the first thing, and that your faith is the first thing, and all this other stuff, kind of like comes second. And so I felt like I got to really get lined up a lot better. And as I relax, I can give more. So that's my story for now. And I'm sure there's a lot more that happened. I'm sure I'll tell a lot more, but maybe you guys can relate to that. And I hope that this gives you something to work with. And helps you see a little bit of what the real journey was like, because it wasn't easy. There was a long time of making almost no money before everything started to really take off, and even building the side hustle took a long time, and then eventually it scaled into a full business. But just have patience and be honest and try to learn what's really inside of you that you can express and give to people, and then do that and do it diligently and well, and learn how to map the plan for it. All right, so that's what I got for you today. I hope that everyone got something out of this, and I'll see you on the next video.